Hello and welcome to this March 31st, 2010 video version of Invested Central's Chart of the Day. I'm Tom Bowley, Invested Central's Chief Market Strategist, and it's my pleasure to provide you with today's Chart of the Day. This Chart of the Day is brought to you by stochastics.com, simply the web's best financial charts. This morning we are featuring LivePerson Inc., ticker symbol LPSN. This is a $372 million business services company, so a fairly small company. When you take a look at this, and really what this does is it really tells us a story as far as trying to jump into stocks on the long side after a pullback. Probably the biggest mistake that can be made in the market right now, because we seem to want to go up every day and the market overall is overbought. I think one of the big mistakes it's made is to chase stocks that have already made a move and are very overbought and extended to the upside, and then you get in, and then the stock simply has a normal pullback. Money flows out of that stock and that sector perhaps and moves into another sector. Well, what you want to do is stay ahead of the curve and actually participate in those other sectors when they're at support. Well, when I take a look at LPSN, I think this one kind of fits that description. If you take a look back in early January, you see the high appeared around $7.50. We pulled back for a while, we came back up, and look at the volume here that confirmed on this move through $7.50. Now we pulled back after we made a move, got up a little over 8. We pulled back for a couple of days, went back up, tested it again, pulled back for a couple of days. You can see the tails here came down very close to the 750 area, and then one more time we pushed higher. And on this last push to the upside, this was third consecutive high. Notice on the first two, the MACD was still going up. On the third one, though, the MACD was much lower. Now, when you first make the breakout, it comes down to two things. Number one, what kind of volume was there on the breakout? And number two, what does the MACD look like on that breakout? Well, here you can see we had the breakout. You go down, you look at the volume. It was okay. It was nothing like what we were seeing on the way up, but it was probably an average type volume day for LivePerson. Now, the next day, though, is the one I think is critical, and this is what we always try to stress. When you're in a stock, if you are in a stock, when it makes a breakout with a negative divergence, if it comes back down and fails to hold this breakout level, which in this case would have been about 805 or so, if it comes back down and reverses on you, closes below that level, puts in some sort of a reversing candle. In this case, you can see the bearish engulfing candle with a negative divergence. That's your sign to exit. But you can see here over the last few days, LPSN's continued dropping down and actually put in a little mini hammer here as it retested this breakout level. So I would expect LivePerson to move up from here. Now, it did have a negative divergence in play, so eventually we would expect a 50-day test. So if you want to be play it a little bit more conservative, you could maybe just take a partial position and wait to see if you get a test of the 50-day, and if you do, that's where you would pick up the rest of it. So maybe averaging in between 750 and the rising 50-day moving average, which right now is at 705, and then any close back below, say, $7 would be a sign to think about moving back to the sidelines. But overall, I do like the chart. Instead of jumping in at the top when we had RSI up in the 70s, even back in early March, it was up near 80. Stochastics were up near 100. Now the stock on this pullback has an RSI reading at 50, and it has stochastics at 9. So, I mean, that's really where you want to think about getting into these stocks, is when they make their pullback. Because if you're wrong, it's a lot better being wrong at 750 than it would have been up at 8.25. I hope you've enjoyed our presentation today. Be sure to check out our chart of the day every day at investedcentral.com. While you're there, sign up for our free weekly Market Pulse newsletter and have the chart of the day emailed directly to you. Happy trading.